Welcome to Orange County Power Players, where we spotlight the personal, professional, and financial success stories of OC's top leaders. Here's your host, Danny Flores.
Welcome back to OC Power Players, where I interview some of the most successful people in Orange County. I'm Danny Flores, your host, and today we have Andy Lin. Andy is the CEO of Provoke Solutions and co-founder of Nova AI. With nearly 30 years in technology and management consulting, Andy has helped numerous Fortune 1000 companies leverage technology to implement impactful business solutions. Starting as a developer from the age of 10, Andy's passion for technology continues to drive value for his clients and his team. Welcome, Andy. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got there.
Yeah. So what we do is we help customers, and as you had mentioned, primarily in the Fortune 1000, leverage technology to innovate, to differentiate. Because as you know, Danny, right, businesses that don't continue to focus on how do they differentiate, how do they add value to the market, they will eventually die. And so we're trying to help our clients from not falling into that position. And so we've helped clients, over my career, get everything from getting onto the internet to becoming a digital business to getting on the cloud to adopting agile and then product. And here we are helping customers sort of adopt AI as a means of differentiation.
Well, that's super interesting because AI, they say it's coming, but it's here already.
Yeah.
You embrace it, right?
Absolutely. And, AI, funny enough, has been, as a technology, been around for almost 50 years, if not more. They were issuing artificial intelligence degrees, even before I was born, in the early 70s. So, the real interesting thing I would say is over the last 2 to 3 years, AI has gotten democratized. So the reason why it's been around for all this time, and you don't really hear about it as much, and kind of the experiences with AI have been clunky for the end customers. It's been really, really difficult to get to work. Right, you had to really have a deep knowledge of the technology. You had to have kind of that academic background combined with real world experience. And it was pretty specialized. And now with the arrival of GPT and agentic AI and generative AI, they've really democratized it. And so now businesses can take that technology and bridge to a solution much more quickly than compared to the last 50 years that AI has been around. So that's what's really, really exciting over the last 2 years.
But it seems like that just happened, right? Where we, and I say myself included, can actually start using it through Chat GPT, and then it seems like there's other apps too that can create for
That's right.
you. And it's just like so much to learn and to try to grasp, and you get overload.
Yeah. So it's definitely the reason why it's so exciting. It's so wide reaching, right? This isn't just for a specific industry or a specific competency. The way we look at this new sort of exposure of AI through generative AI is it takes the boring, the mundane, the rote out of any business, out of any process, and you can take that off of a human's plate. And that allows humans to actually focus on the thing that they love to do the most, right? Whether that's engineering, whether that is even if you're, into art, allows you to focus on the creative process a bit more. So it really enables humans to become more human. And what I mean by that is humans, I think, have evolved, over our existence to be problem solvers.
Right.
If there's no problem to solve, we go look for problems to solve. It's innate to us as human beings. And what generative AI does is it allows us to continue to push on that front, because all of the mundane, soul-sucking work, it's still really critical. It has to get done. But now with generative AI and the rise of agents, you can really see more and more of those tasks being given to bots and not to humans. And that's what's really transformative is, from a business leader standpoint, you can start thinking about, hey, instead of spending my time and human resources and capital on doing really critical tasks, but are kind of repetitive, I can now put my humans on really working on differentiation and innovating. So that's what's so exciting is it's launched a whole bunch of ideas and a whole bunch of solutions, and it's not taking a deep amount of expertise that has a PhD in data science or AI. Like general engineers and even just business people can leverage um, generative AI to deliver solutions very, very quickly.
So what's the best, like, let's say myself as maybe as an example, I'm a blank canvas. I know a little bit about AI, a little bit about GPT, and I'm sure there's many people in our audience that are in the same boat. What's the easiest way to get out there and start learning and leveraging these tools that can just boost productivity sky high?
Absolutely. So what we tell our own employees, because we're going through a transformation of, as an engineering firm that does a lot of outsourced engineering, we're now at that, fork in the road that we need our developers to accept and adopt that these tools can help them make them more productive and to get them to be more focused on the more difficult, challenging that requires your intellect, your curiosity, and to leverage these tools to do some of the boring, mundane, repetitive. So for our path is the first thing is I have a big philosophy around you learn best by doing. Okay. Like if you think back to so many of the skills that we've picked up, like you can't watch a YouTube video to learn how to swim. You can't watch a YouTube video to learn how to ride a bike, right? You kind of have to jump in and, you fall a few times, you get back up, and the next time you'll be on that bike a little bit longer. And then you repeat that process over and over again until it's second nature. And I feel like what we're encountering here is very, very similar. So the first thing I would do is, go to ChatGPT, create an account, and just start playing with it. Start asking questions. It is basically think of it as Google, but a little bit more evolved, right? It can get you some really detailed information, be very targeted, very specific, depending on how you quote prompt it. So learn how to talk to the AI is kind of the second point. And you learn that through experimentation and experiences. You just get better and better at it the more you do it. So I think that's probably the biggest way to, kind of get your head around, well, what can this technology do and how can I use it? I mean, people use it for everything from creating recipes to creating a list for preparing for a party to, hey, I'm going to go on vacation somewhere. Give me, the top 10 things I should do. All of these things from the, really rote and mundane dealing with day-to-day life to, business problems where, our internal marketing team is using a lot of it to come up with campaign ideas as an example. So really engage the tool, use it, and that's how I think is the primary you should learn. Now, funny enough, once you've learned that, as I said, humans are natural like problem solvers. We're naturally curious. You're gonna go, hey, I want to know how this works, and so I think there's plenty of resources out on YouTube that will take you through some basic educational material as to how this stuff works, what's happening underneath the hood, right? Why is this different than previous generations of AI? So I think that's another way to get educated, but start off with, really just experimenting.
Yeah, no, that's true, right? To be able to see what it can really do, you just have to test it. And I know I've used it a little bit, and it's just like it's amazing. You can create projects that will take enormous amount of hours putting them together if you prompt it correctly. And it gives you the right information. You can put presentations together in half an hour. You can be ready to present.
Exactly. And it's never 100%, right? It's about 80% there, and then you still have to tweak it. But like, hey, man, it saves you so much time. Like what used to be a day's task, you can get done in a couple of hours.
Right. Now in the business that you do, there's you would think there's a lot of competition in doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
What makes you different than everybody else? How do you make yourself stand
Yeah.
up?
Great question. So I think number one, a lot of the competition that's coming out is, funded by Silicon Valley startups, right? And that's great. But I will tell you, I am not a Stanford 25-year-old kid. I didn't graduate from MIT. I graduated from Cal Berkeley. Okay. But what I do have is I have 30 years of experience in the enterprise. So I'm working with Fortune 1000 companies. And, as brilliant as, some of those kids coming out of those awesome schools are, they don't have that experience working with the enterprise. They don't know what their problems are. They don't know what challenges they have. And it's not just technology. It's not just business problems. It's compliance problems. It's process problems. It's scale problems, right? And so the solutions that we're building are really geared towards helping the enterprise because we understand what the pain points are, what the constraints are. We understand the motions of getting them from experimenting with something new to putting it into production. Okay. And so I think that's the first big difference is I speak the language of enterprise. Like it's been where I spent my entire career. I started my career at Anderson Consulting, now better known as Accenture. I've stayed in consulting this entire time. And primarily 80% to 90% of my experience has been in the Fortune, 1000. Whereas a lot of these startups, right, like they just don't have that experience. And so I think a lot of their solutions are going to get adoption maybe with kind of medium-sized businesses. But when they get to the larger scale enterprises and, data and privacy concerns are going to be a big concern. Well, how are you going to solve that if your solution is for, the pedantic common SaaS platform? Everybody wants SaaS. That's what investors in Silicon Valley will invest in SaaS companies. You're not going to be able to solve that problem. They'll tell you, nope, we're not uncomfortable with that at all. I'm not sending you my code. I'm not letting you keep the learnings that can benefit my, competitor. So when you work with us, you get the sense that we have that experience. And the second one is we are a smaller team. And being a smaller team, right, we have that white glove, hands-on service with our customers. And our number one focus, right, I've surrounded and built the team with people who have a deep passion and deeply care about our customers' results, right? Like our jobs isn't to just kind of satisfy our own intellectual curiosity or our own business needs. Our jobs in being consultants is really to help our customers succeed. That's where we get our wins. And so when you work with our team, we really have that focus on making sure the customer wins and not necessarily, prioritize our wins.
Right. Now, if somebody's listening to us and likes what you do, what could they do to either get in the business or then they're in the business already to get better at what they're doing?
Yeah, a couple of things. So one, talk to people. Okay. And, the number of advice I would give that I wish someone gave me when I was a younger professional is, when you think of mentors and coaches, you always think of like the people that are on Fortune magazine, right? It's like, no, like you don't need that. You just need someone who's 2 to 3 years ahead of you. So find someone to kind of mentor. I've always found that good leaders will make time to mentor and coach. It's part of their DNA. It's what makes them great. And they are more than willing to kind of spend a few minutes with you or half an hour a week just to answer your question or give you some guidance on what you should be doing. It's a big focus of mine. So if people go on my LinkedIn profile, right, I think my business accomplishments, like they speak for themselves. But if you look at the feedback from the people that have worked with me, it's the thing that drives me is that I've impacted somebody. I've gotten them to be a better professional. So find the right leaders, find the right mentors. And number two, again, jump in, do it, try it, have somebody there to support you. But the best way you're going to learn is to get out of your comfort zone, do something really uncomfortable. I was an engineer. Okay. The idea of becoming CEO and, my path to CEO was going to CRO. Before going to CRO, was like heavy into sales and marketing. Never dreamed or imagined that. But like I had a good mentor who just like, you're too comfortable being an engineer. Stretch out. And I did the really uncomfortable thing of walking up to somebody and giving them the 90-second elevator pitch. It was still uncomfortable for the first 10 times, but by the 20th time, wasn't anything that difficult, awkward. So you just got to do it. So believe in the repetition, believe in the process, and believe that the first sign that you need to do something different is when you're like, I'm really comfortable. Life is very predictable. My work is very predictable. It's your first sign you probably need to stretch.
Yeah, no, you just gotta have to do the reps.
That's right. It's all about the reps.
Right. And then you just ease into it. You start having a good time and then you get and you can tweak it. You kind of
absolutely.
And so no, that's a really good advice right there. So what has been one of your most challenging things in your career that you've had to overcome?
Yeah. So as you had mentioned, I started doing development programming when I was 10 years old. And so I was fortunate, and still I am fortunate, right, that, I'm now 51, that my career has been built around this calling that I found as a young kid. The most challenging part was deciding whether I was going to still stay deeply technical or change the trajectory of my career more towards management and leadership. And so that took a lot of soul searching, and that took a lot of coming to terms with, you know, who I am and what am I passionate about? These concepts that are kind of thrown out there, passion and, do what you love. Um, and really what I came to the conclusion of was my talent and my passions have changed over time. And so, well, I was passionate about from the time I was 10 to about, say, 30. Yeah, I was really technology and programming and hanging my identity off of that. But then as I got older, I realized that the bigger impact I can make to the professional arena and to the world is, how do I help others? How do I help that next generation of professionals come up through the ranks, right? And I realized I don't need to be Jamie Dimon or any of these big names, right? Like, I can help the group of people that are around me. I can help them get uncomfortable and do things that they never really thought that they could do, that they didn't believe in themselves, but I saw something in them that they could. And bringing that out has been really satisfying. And so the hardest thing is coming to grips with, what you think of something that you love and you're passionate about as this lifelong thing. And what I've come to learn is it changes. And at different stages of your life, you may become passionate and really, really interested in something. Go after it. Don't let whatever your previous identity hold you back from pursuing kind of the evolution of that identity.
Right, right, right. No, that must have taken a lot of courage and, like you said, a lot of soul searching and changing from being comfortable in coding and what you were doing and developing to leading, basically.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It was a difficult change because um, I didn't know if I was going to be any good at it. I didn't know why I suddenly became fascinated with it. Um, and it was really difficult to walk away from something that, not walk away, it wasn't like a cold switch, but to slowly start moving away from the stuff that I knew I was really good at, that I always got praised for, that I got all the accolades for, to something that was unknown that I could have fallen pretty flat on my face for.
Right. And then, but you didn't. You did it and you pushed through and you grew into it
That's right.
the uncomfortable part of it. And
Yep. That's
so
right.
sounds like you're doing really well and your change and your business. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Um, so as a business owner, sometimes you think, okay, how do I set myself up, potentially for retirement, and that's ever in the horizon, thinking about that and thinking about also maybe creating additional passive income aside from your regular business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I don't know that I'm the person that'll ever quote retire. I think I'm going to be working for a very, very long time. I think what I work on could change, and that's what I'm open to. I think passive income is, something that is really good to think about, whether you're an individual contributor, whether you're a business owner, or you're in mid-level management. Like having, a stream of income that is not tied to, kind of trading your hours for dollars, because that's what all of us do that take a salary, right? And that can come in, putting it into the stock market, that can come putting in real estate. I'm probably more of a real estate, guy than, any of the other passive income streams, because, I like the idea of having a hard asset that no matter what isn't going to go away. All right. And so, real estate is a good one. Now, but side hustles, I've done a few of those in my life, right? Throughout my career, I've done everything from slinging loans on the side back in the, before the market was, tanked and it was really, really hot, and all that, to today. I've tried to turn like a hobby around sports cards collecting into more of a side hustle as well. So it's just really good, I think, for the soul to have a variety of different experiences, at least week to week, if not day to day, to keep that fresh perspective and to be energized for your main hustle, so to speak.
Right, right. No, that definitely makes sense. And then if anybody who's listening to us, I mean, you want to it's sometimes your heart's what pushes you one way or another. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay because you're discovering what works and what you like, and you're discovering what you may not like. And
That's right. That's right.
so, so as we wrap up our interview, what does 2025 look like for you?
So 2025 was a really exciting time. We started off the year with a bang. I'm not sure if it's a general reflection of kind of economic confidence, but it does seem like customers are, engaging in more conversations. They're trying to figure out how to leverage this technology to, position themselves as a leader in 2025. Personally, I think it's more about making sure that I take care of my health. I take care of my relationships, and really make sure that you don't kind of let your main hustle and your work become the only focus. That you need to make sure that you have the right supporting cast and in the environment. And in order to be successful as a professional, as a leader, as an executive, you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your relationships. And if you don't, then it's unlikely that you're going to have a very successful professional career or year. So my main focus is really making sure that, drop some weight, commit to, a fitness schedule a lot better than I did in 2024, and really trust that will lead to bigger and better things by starting with myself.
Right, right. Yeah, your health is number one. Without your health, you got nothing.
That's right. That's right.
Well, John, thanks so much for joining us and sharing your insights. If somebody who's listening and wants to get a hold of you, how could they do that?
Yeah, best way is to reach me via email. And so that's Andy, ANDY, dot Lin, LIN, at provokesolutions.com. Okay.
Perfect. All right, John.
All
Thanks.
right.
Thanks so much for coming on, and to our audience. Please go to ocpowerplayers.com and follow us on your favorite channel, and don't forget to like us.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Orange County Power Players. Want to share your success story? Apply to be a guest at ocpowerplayers.com/guest.